The top 5 worst F1 games in history. F1 2009. Now, where do we begin with F1 2009 on the Wii? I think the best word to describe this game is odd. If this was made in 1977, like the first motor racing game Sprint, a black and white game that had a top-down view of the track, then perhaps I'd be able to be slightly more lenient. The physics, for example, is extremely questionable. Your car will bounce off walls and other vehicles in an extreme fashion, and in return, you will receive little to no damage. I should also mention the horrible noise the cars make when they collide, which sounds like someone hitting a tin can with a hammer. Furthermore, playing this game on a Wii remote is a very strange sensation, with absolutely no feel for the car because, well, you're just holding up a controller in the air to turn. ATARI Jaguar. Checkered flag. My first reaction seeing this game again was pure joy, but only at the fact I no longer have to resort to playing games like this. Checkered Flag was originally released in 1991, but this game came 3 years later and was not received well at all. If you hit the wall hard enough, you will do a front flip, back flip, or whatever the car fancies doing at that particular moment. The 1994 re-release looked dated, especially when you think Formula 1 for the PlayStation came out at a similar time, and the controls were just the worst. F1 Checkered Flag. This was an indie game available to be downloaded for £3.19, and so expectations were admittedly not that high. I've regretted spending my money on many stupid things over the course of my lifetime, but never have I wanted £3.19 back more than when I pressed download on this game. The only, and I mean only, part I enjoyed about this game was the bass line that is dropped as you are greeted by the menus. This F1 game not only had no penalty system, but you were encouraged and rewarded for hitting your opponents by giving you a boost. You might think the graphics look okay for its age, but it didn't come out in 1995, not even 2005. This game came out in 2015. Formula 1 98. There is just nothing special about F1 98 to get the blood rushing or give you any sense that you're having the race of your life. No great graphics, no silky handling, no innovation. I hate to use the term 5-minute wonder when describing Formula 1 games, but you can't help but become disinterested alarmingly quickly. Sure, it didn't help that Formula 1 and F1 97, the two previous F1 games, were both received extremely well at the hands of Bizarre Creations, but for the guys who took over the 1998 creation, Visual Sciences, it really was a disappointing game. Grand Prix Rockin' Racing. Well, we move on to Enjoy Up Games top-down arcade racer. Where do I even start with this game? When I first downloaded it, I thought maybe this would take me back to my Micro Machine days as a kid and really get the nostalgia flowing. I couldn't have been more wrong. This is hands down the most frustrating game I have ever played. For some reason, Enjoy Up Games has integrated a semi-realistic handling model onto a top-down arcade game. At the beginning of your career, your car is so painfully slow, understeers through every corner, and it most definitely feels like a grind right from the get-go. However, you'd think as you upgrade your car, it would become more enjoyable. Wrong! It almost penalises the player for upgrading their vehicle as higher speeds result in more unpredictable and inconsistent physics. The game had potential, but the handling ruins it completely. Oh, and a couple of side notes. They couldn't even spell acceleration correctly in the menus, and the commentator is just a guy shouting superlatives. Great! Super! Excellent! Have you played an even worse F1 game than these? Leave a comment with a terrible F1 game you've played.